Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest weather-wise. Today is September 17th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see our upper level lows, one over Idaho and Montana, one just off the Oregon coastline. We'll take a look at what impacts those are going to bring here over the next couple of days as we go through the video this morning. And then we'll take a look at the extended forecast. You might have been hearing a little bit of chatter on some of the social media stuff about potential for atmospheric river activity, and we'll look at those possibilities as we go through the extended forecast as a strong jet stream looks to point somewhere towards the Pacific Northwest. And we'll dive into those details as well. So taking a look at what happened yesterday, you can see the marine layer burning off as we went through the day, the upper level low spinning across Nevada, bringing thunderstorm activity back across Idaho and Montana here and back into southeast Oregon. That continued throughout the day, through the evening hours, through the overnight hours as well. We scroll on in towards where we are this morning, and you'll see the thunderstorm activity still continuing with the slow moving upper level low. Just a really manna from heaven here with this very beneficial rainfall that this system is bringing. And again, another nice shot coming today for portions of Montana that have quite a few drought-stricken regions, and we've still got some fire hotspots across some of the higher terrain of Idaho and Montana as well. And you can also see the next system dropping down here off the Oregon coast. There were a few lightning strikes associated with this last night. Could bring some thunderstorm potential to the Oregon coast. We'll dive into those details as well before we take a look at the extended forecast. There is a story attached to this page if you guys want to help support the channel. Don't feel obligated by any means or anything, but I do have this hoodie here. I've had it for a couple of years and it's very good quality. And so yeah, just thought I'd point that out if you guys want to buy some items. And you can see there's many different designs you can buy to put on the many different items available in the store. My son only wears these moisture wicking t-shirts right now. I'm wearing one actually right now, if you can kind of see it. There you go. But yeah, very good quality on some of this stuff. So anyway, yeah, click on that link down below if you want to check that out. Take a look at the thunderstorm activity here. You can see Spokane, Pendleton just clipping that today, Boise, Butte, Missoula. You can see some severe weather possible as you go out into portions of Montana, mainly a wind and hail threat, but also a little bit of a tornado threat there from northeast Montana as well. Heads up if you're traveling out and about, if you don't have any family members living out there. This is day two. This is that upper level low, bringing some of that. It's dropping down the coastline further than what some of the models were saying previously here. So it may end up impacting California a bit more. Now, taking a look at the wet weather for Idaho and Montana, look at some of these amounts here as we go through today and Wednesday. Just very beneficial precipitation and even some snow above 8,000 feet, potential debris flow on burn scar areas here. But overall, this is just an extremely beneficial precipitation maker here. Mother Nature is a firefighter here with this upper level low, just perfectly placed here, just to really drench some of these areas across the higher terrain of Idaho and western Montana, and it helps with the drought as well. So this is the timing for today. And again, if you're traveling on I-90, going out past Billings and stuff, or out past Bozeman and whatnot, expect that thunderstorm activity. They could get pretty strong as you get out here towards Terry here on I-94 there as well. So just wanted to point that out. Now looking at Seattle, 68 yesterday, 72 is the average high for this time of year. Pretty nice day there yesterday. The sun broke out and it was quite glorious. So you really can't beat 68 degrees and, comfortable humidities. No official precipitation in the bucket here, 0.39, but we probably have more coming as we go through the month of September. Some active weather may be coming our way. I'll show you the weather models on that here in a moment. I selected this weather station here on Vashon Island. And it's just kind of fun watching this. You can watch your UV index, your solar radiation. You can click on any one of these to graph out what's been going on at your weather station. It stores all this data for you in the cloud. Highly recommend this weather station. Click on that link down below if you want to save 10% off. Now let's take a look at the next 60 hours on the Doppler radar, what it may look like. Look at that slow moving upper level low that we've been talking about. And then this one starts to bring some precipitation in towards mainly western Washington here, maybe the Olympic Peninsula. Doesn't show much for Seattle. This upper level low kind of skirts Oregon here as well, moving down towards California. So we're going to get a brief shot at some precipitation with that. And then you can see the upper level low set up over California. And then we start to look off towards the northwest as some other systems may be trying to approach here through the extended. Now, looking at the high resolution rapid refresh, this is this morning's run. You can't see this upper level low, maybe for the southwest Oregon coast, some thunderstorm activity here. You can see actual plentiful thunderstorm activity here across some of Idaho and Montana as we go through the day today on in towards tomorrow as well. It doesn't look like that upper level low right now is going to spin thunderstorm activity back up into Oregon, even as we go through Wednesday also, kind of trending a bit further south. Now, looking at vertically integrated smoke, this is this morning's high resolution rapid refresh run. Let's take a look at what kind of smoke production is being generated here. You can see a little bit here, still some smoldering stuff across the higher terrain of Idaho, maybe Washington, but not too bad, relatively speaking. And again, that upper level really helping out for places east. But you can see that might be the, what is that? The retreat fire out there, out near Yakima, might be still smoldering a bit here. But yeah, relatively speaking, we are doing so much better than we were even just a week ago. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches, this is last night's European model run. Put this into motion. There's the upper level low. There comes the next system, kind of clipping southwest Washington and portions of Oregon, maybe get into the Cascades a little bit here. And then we start to scroll off and look off to the extended. You can kind of see right at the end of the run, some of that precipitation coming out of the west, starting to target western BC. That will be the initial start of some of this atmospheric river activity that looks like right now it's targeting British Columbia, but does have the chance to get a little bit further south as well. Now, if we take a look at this, this is the GFS, this is the ensembles. This is the 90th percentile, so this is on the high end of what we could be expecting as we go through the next week to 2 weeks here. Now, we'll just scroll through this and we'll play this out. But you can really see as we go towards the end of the week and on into the weekend, the precipitation values just absolutely get cranking here across portions of British Columbia, Vancouver Island, and clipping some of the North Cascades and maybe the Olympic Mountains at times. You can see, again, on the high end of things, Seattle look at maybe a ½ inch by the time we go towards next Tuesday morning here, September 24th. And we continue to scroll out here, and the atmospheric rivers may get more than one of them here. Look at some of these totals showing up for western British Columbia. And again, could be trying to clip some portions of Washington, even Oregon on the higher end of things here. Again, we're looking at the 90th percentile. I'll show you the lower possibilities here coming up as well. This is the 25th percentile. We're going to scroll through this fairly quickly. And again, you can see even on the lower end of things, western British Columbia absolutely getting hammered, but this one leaves a lot of Washington and Oregon high and dry with the atmospheric rivers just burrow in to British Columbia here. So that's something we have to watch with this setup coming. This is not a slam dunk that we're going to get big rainfall across Washington and Oregon with, as we go through the end of September here, let's just call it. Now, if we take a look at total precipitation in inches, this is the ensemble mean on the GFS as of last night. We're going to put this into motion. And again, you can see western British Columbia just getting absolutely hosed with this atmospheric river, and some of that potentially getting down into Washington and Oregon. So that's the game we're going to be playing over the next few days to see if these atmospheric rivers have a chance to make their way further south. Now, taking a wider view of things here, this is the Gulf of Alaska. We're looking at about 39,000 feet up in the atmosphere. There's British Columbia, Washington, Oregon off to the right here. If I put this into motion, there goes that upper level low dropping down into California. Then we start to get this jet stream activity here towards western BC, and then we get another one right after that. And this one potentially even stronger as we start to go on in towards the next week period. This is 156 hours out, and the models have been flipping and flopping a little bit on just where this jet stream is going to set up. Some of them are having a little bit further south yesterday. They've bounced back a little bit further north there. And that's going to make a big difference on who sees what precipitation and how much. And then you can see maybe another atmospheric river after that as we go way off into Fantasyland. But of course, don't put much stock in that as of right now. So what does the European have to say about all this? Let's take a look at yesterday afternoon's run. Total precipitation in inches. This is the ensemble mean, averaged values from all 50 European ensemble members. And we tweak each one of those 50 members to change their initial conditions to try to correct for any errors we may have in our misunderstandings of the atmosphere. So take a look at that. Western BC just absolutely hammered, but you can see some of that leaking down into the Cascades and some of the Olympic Mountains here, maybe some of the coastal range of Oregon at time here. So there's great uncertainty with just where this big gradient of the heaviest rainfall is going to set up. But I mean, you're talking about over a foot, or what is that, 17 inches for some places, according to the European ensemble mean. But this is no doubt going to be changing north and south and kind of ebbing and flowing as we go over the next few days. So something interesting to be watching. We're starting to get into that time of year where you can get atmospheric rivers, obviously, back into British Columbia and Washington. Now, if we take a look at the artificial intelligence European run, there goes our upper level low, and then we get the little bit of a transient ridge here, but then we're going to start pointing these atmospheric rivers potentially back into British Columbia, and they look a bit stronger here as we go off into the extended forecast, 174 hours out here, but you can see that troughing here versus the ridging across the southwest, kind of a classic atmospheric river setup somewhere into western British Columbia, potentially including northern portions of Washington as of right now. But we'll continue to watch that day by day. It'll be something fun to look at and something fun to figure out here as we go on in through the upcoming week here. Now 6 to 10 day, you can kind of see how the Climate Prediction Center has that as well. Look at Southern Oregon below, Washington above. You can kind of see how they have that gradient with the rainfall setting up somewhere right in here as well. This is September 22nd through the 26th. And again, it'll be fun to watch how that unfolds. Here's the 6 to 10 day above average showing up for some of Oregon here, just clipping Washington. And also just showing here the 7-day significant fire potential. We are largely out of fire season across Pacific Northwest, and these upper level lows have been very helpful. And if we get an atmospheric river in here, it's really going to put an end to things. But you can see there is still a little bit moderate risk out there for some east slopes of the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the channel. We're doing quite well. Can't wait to see what this fall and winter brings. Oh, and by the way, on Thursday, we're going to have the new La Nina update here. Some fun stuff to look at, some interesting developments with that. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.